So in this video, I'm going to go over some of the duties in the daily routine that you'll have as a relief superintendent. One of the first things you would do is check the pool chemical room. First, have a look to make sure there are no issues that arrived overnight, like leaks or equipment failure. You should have a look at your controllers. And if security did a pool chemical check that night, have a look at the results. You should also do your first pool chemical check and rectify any balancing issues you may have. Don't spend too long here though, because the first hour of the morning requires setting up a routine so you don't miss anything. When you're done in the pool mechanical room, while you're on the ground floor and close to the office, you can get the office key and open the door to check the move out and delivery board. This way you'll know if you have to put the elevator pads up, which are located in the electrical room to the right of the office. So the next thing you have to do is get your key to go in and check in the management office to see if there are any move-outs that you might need to put the pads on the elevator. So you have a key. Usually it looks something like this to open this box. Open that box and look for the key tag with office on it. And don't leave your keys in here because that door will lock behind. Don't leave your keys in there because the door will lock behind you. You don't have any keys to get back in. So you open the management office door. Turn on the light. And you've got to check the board to see if there's any move-ins, move-outs, or deliveries on June the 8th. And there's nothing there. So if there was, let's say, you'll see there on the 10th, it's 9 to 1. That's a move-out for 1109 East. And, or it could be a delivery. If it says MO, it's a move-out. And then below that on the 10th, you've got 1105 East is a move out. So luckily we don't have any move outs today. So that's just to check, to see that. You can, and the other thing you should do too is have a look at the security report in the morning, which is in the box behind the door, and see if there are any issues. The only thing I see is that the janitor room door might have been ajar a bit, and then I think that's because we have a new janitor person there, and we have to make sure I'll talk to him and let him know that he has to make sure that door is closed when he leaves. Other than that, you just put it back in the box, and so you don't have to worry about putting the pads up. I'll do another video later about how to put the pads up. So when you come after you check to see if you've got to move out, you have to put the key back into the box in the fire panel room and lock it. Then while you're in here, you check the fire panel. This is the secondary fire panel or the auxiliary fire panel, and you see if there's anything happening with that. I'll be doing a video on how to operate the panel at a later date for you. As long as there's no lights flashing. Right now we have a couple of trouble lights, but troubles are only small issues that we have to work out, like a ground fault that they'll be coming in to fix shortly. And then the other one down here is a loss of pressure, which is just a switch that needs to be replaced that they've got on order. After you've done the elevator pads, it's important that you go to the recycle rooms next, because overnight they can become quite disorganized. Recycle rooms are a very important part of your daily routine, and they should be organized first thing in the morning, before you go to lunch, right after lunch, and before you leave at 4 p.m. Right now, I'm entering the recycle room at 150 on the east side, which is located on the second floor near the elevators. As I walk in, the first thing I see is that the garbage needs to be emptied, and we'll do that in the garbage room. The recycle bin has some boxes that need to be broken down. The container bins should also be looked at. And I always leave the first bin open and check the other bins to make sure that they're not full. You should always have at least 2 empty bins available in case one fills up quickly. And then the next 4 bins are the paper bins. I noticed that in the corner there's something somebody left behind, so I'm going to get rid of that and throw it in the garbage. Break it down, throw it in the garbage, and check over here to make sure there's nothing on the shelf. Usually magazines should go into the garbage, and egg crates like that as well. Then you check the compost bin to see the organic bins to see if it's full or not. And if it's about 3/4 full, then you should change it out. You can also check the kitty litter bin, and if it starts to get over half full, you can start throwing some of the bags out into the bin as well. So as you can see, I've emptied out the compost bin. I've broken down some of the boxes in the cardboard bin. I also emptied out that garbage. Try to leave the same bag because you go through too many bags if you don't. I've wiped down the bins with disinfectant and sprayed inside of them so they don't smell. And I always put the first bin with the lid up because it looks a lot better and people know where they got to go for the first bin on each one. The first bin for the paper as well. I picked up that item in the corner, and I'll just get rid of these 2 things. People used to collect the egg cartons, but they don't anymore, so now we just get rid of them. And some people leave magazines there. I'll leave them there for a few hours. If nobody grabs it, I'll throw it out. At the back of the recycle room, you'll see the move-out doors, and they have to be open when somebody's doing a move-out and locked after they're done. Once you're done the move-out door on the east side, you're on the second floor, so you go to the west side, and as you're passing by the party room, if the doors aren't open, you open them up, and then you go to the west garbage recycling room. Again, you'll notice that the garbage needs to be empty, and this one's a little bit worse than the other one for some reason this morning. And you'll notice that there's stuff on the shelf, a lot of stuff in the bins. A lot of the bins are open and full. The compost bin is almost full. It needs to be emptied. And I'll do all that, and we'll go from there. I'm checking inside the bins now to make sure I have a couple empty ones. So you'll notice I emptied that bin, and one of the reasons why I like to keep one bin open is because if you have too many bins open, it starts to stink in there, and people know which bin to go to put their stuff in. As you can see, I got one bin open for the containers and one for the paper. I got rid of some garbage, some things that were there, emptied that bin, and broke down some. There's one box in there I still got to break down. I'll get later. And it looks a lot better in there now. So you have to do that at least, like I say, at least twice in the morning and twice in the afternoon. So the next part of the routine is going up to the boiler rooms on the 16th floor, which is up the stairwell off the 16th floor. We're entering the boiler room. First thing you do when you enter the boiler room on the west side is see if the boiler is on. If you don't see a light, that means it's not tripped. The light would be right here if you see an orangish light. then you have to press this button here to start it again. And that won't happen very often, but for some reason the boiler might shut down. So you've got the domestic hot water boiler right here. Right of that is the backup boiler. Walking to the left here, you've got the pumps up here, overhead pumps. Have a look at them, make sure they're not dripping or making any sounds. If they are, you call Honeywell and let them know. These are the controllers for those pumps. And right now it's at 100%, which is right. If you ever see this boiler of lights flashing on this controller, then you have to reset it, try to reset it. So by resetting it, you just turn this to the left, off, wait for 10 seconds, then turn it back on, and then press the reset. And then it should come back up and start working again. And just watch it to make sure it stays on. There's the iWatch station right there. Going to the right, we've got the pumps, circulation pumps that help with the flow of the water in closed loops and open loops. And then we've got the two controllers here. One's running at 100%, the other one's at 0%. That's okay because it's not flashing, and this one is doing most of the work. Again, if they're flashing, you reset them. Across from that, you have the domestic hot water storage tank and two more controllers here. One is running at 100%, they're both running at 100%. So that means there's a lot of hot water being used right now. Going further to the left here, on the wall, left hand side, you've got the domestic hot water temperature, which is around 130. That's a good temperature. It should be between about 125 and 130. I know it says 140 up there, but that's a little bit too warm. And if that starts dropping below 120, then you call Brian from Honeywell and he'd come out and have a look to see what's going on with the boilers. Or you go and check to make sure the boilers or that one boiler is on, like I showed you when I got walked in the door. You might have to press that button to restart it. This is the old water softener system, which is totally disconnected. Eventually we'll have to get rid of that. And this is the recirculating pump for recirculating hot water in the building where it pumps it through. At the very end of the hall, you've got the exit to the roof, which I'll talk about in a later video, things that are done up there. When you come out of the boiler room, across from that is the chiller. And right now, the chiller is running, so I'm not going to go in there because I won't be able to talk into it. I'll do a later video of how to operate the chiller. And right in the middle, or to the end, is a cooling tower, chilling tower. It's out on the open roof there. We'll talk about that as well. So you also have to check the boiler room on the east side, which is stair D level 16. Again, it's at the top of the stairs. This is the mechanical room, in-house level. You use the same key that we used before. Get in here. There's a lot of keys here, so sometimes it's hard to find it. So it's number 3. Again, the elevator room stays right here.
here, as soon as you walk in, the chiller's running. There's a chiller on the right-hand side. And like the other tower, there's the chilling tower, the cooling tower, and then the boiler room. So what you want to do first, when you enter the boiler room, is don't turn the light on until you look at the boiler to see if the light's lit. And to the right is the beige boiler, and there's no light lit, so you know that that boiler is okay. That's the boiler we're looking at again. You would see this light, an orange, this would light up an orange color. If it's not, then you just have to press it quickly. So let's take a little tour. We've got, go to the left first. So here we've got two controllers that operate the pumps for the domestic hot water and return and the secondary supply. Right now they're both running, one's at 100% and one's at 56%. They're both on, there's no flashing lights. And across from that we have two more controllers. One's at 0% and the other's at 96%. No flashing lights, so they're good there. The two pumps sound good, there's no problems with them when they're not leaking. Then I go over to the left, check your domestic hot water temperature, which is about 131, which is good. And then we'll go down here to the other end. We've got two more pumps running here, and two more pumps. There's no leaks or no problems with. And you've got it running at 100%. That sound you hear is just one of the fans blowing or circulating in here. Circulation fans. One thing I want to mention too is that this is the loop for the water coming into the building, and the city water coming in, this is the should be between the marked lines, and the loop there is a little bit lower than what it's marked there, but that's fine as long as it's not you know, around 50 or more. And this is an area, these areas we like to keep clean. One of the things we want to be doing here soon is cleaning up this mess right here and sweeping the floors a little bit. And we've also got an eye wash station here. Right in the middle. I know that's just a basic tour of the boiler room. There's a lot more that you'll have to do in here, but these are just the basics. And if there's any questions, this doesn't cover everything. If there's any questions, you should call me if there's any problems or issues with any of the equipment. If you're not sure what to do, you should call me. I'm available 24 hours a day. And also, normally if there's an equipment malfunction, like a leaking pump or a pump that's has a bearing gone or something, you should call Brian from Honeywell. He's available on call on the weekends. And he'll be out as quickly as possible, which is usually pretty quick to come and solve any issues that you have. Other duties that should be part of your routine.
Number 1, pick up debris in the courtyard and sweep along curbs. Number 2, check garbage in courtyard. Empty if it's 3/4 full. Number 3, check fountain. Ensure it has enough water and remove any debris from it. Number 4, water the garden if needed, usually every second day. Number 5, pull any weeds along curb and courtyard before they get too long. Number 6, pick up debris in rear parking. Number 7, clean up along building and the curb. Number 8, pull weeds along the curb before they get too long. Number 9, pick up debris under canopies along the building. Number 10, change a garbage bag in the garbage container in the rear parking if it is more than 3/4 full. Number 11, do a pass of all underground parking areas, including lockers, and pick up any debris, cigarette butts, etc. And that's usually done once on a weekend. And number 12 is check the car wash at the P2 level on the west side. Empty the garbage and check to ensure everything is okay there, and that should be done daily. There's many other things, but those are some of the basics. So that gives you an idea of some of the basic things that you will be doing on a daily basis and sometimes every second day. And I hope that you find this helpful.